Jasmine, Daniela, Joanna. Welcome in everybody, Danya, Roy, awesome, nice to see Roy, Angel, Anita, welcome in everyone. Just waiting to let everyone else in. We got a few more people joining. Okay, so we're about to get started. If you don't know me, I'm Michael. Everyone, I'm one of the community managers here, with School of Mentors. And so this call I'll just be hosting in the background, but this call is mainly about Laura St. John, celebrity mindset coach, worked with huge companies, Netflix, Google, Forbes. I came to this community as a member and I saw her mindset workshop here and I joined her community. So I really think she's going to give us some good value here. And so I'm glad everybody joined. And, she is the famous mindset coach. Libby done her niece, her first client. So, if you know Libby, then Laura helped Libby out, to be able to become what she's done. And so she's going to give us some really good value. And so with that, I'm just going to hand it off to her and she'll do her thing.
Amazing. Thank you, Michael. And it's so fun having my community. I just launched on School, thanks to the School of Mentors for just showing me this platform. It's been really cool. Let's see. Can you make me spotlighted? Is that possible? There we go. Perfect. All right. Do you want to hit the record?
It is already recording.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Amazing. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to do a vision casting epic goals workshop. I'm Laura St. John. Thanks for that intro. I'm a celebrity mindset coach. Let me know in the chat if you have been to any of my workshops here in the classroom. I've done 2 or 3 so far here at School of Mentors. Well, let me know if you've been on any. I'll take a look. Yeah, so I've done a flip it workshop, how to flip negative to positive and get after the positive, which makes a huge difference in your mindset and goals. And I've done a top 10 money blocks workshop that really identifies some of the top 10 blocks that a lot of people don't even realize they have. And then I asked the community again saying, hey, do you guys want to work together more in 2026? I've got a great workshop. I just did this workshop actually for Google in New York City for their New York City chapter. And it's been really, really fun to work with large companies, celebrities, athletes, and then take these same exact mindset tips to the masses. I fully believe that everyone, that mindset can really level the playing field. So no matter what you've gone through, no matter where you've been, that you can completely shift your mindset and get very different results in your life. And I was on the call last night a little bit with I think it was a billionaire, was it Michael? Whoever was on last night, I was to the live Q&A, and I'm just like, these tips are all mindset. You meet millionaires and billionaires. I've helped companies go unicorn status, and it's mindset that really separates out the work from the results. So if you really want to feel like you're making a giant shift in 2026, my goal of this workshop is that you take 1 to 3 takeaways of what I'm about to dish out to you, of some of the most important things that I've seen leaders take missteps in and how to flip it to create a new result, and that you take 1 to 3 of these things and create massive change very, very quickly. So if you're here for dramatic shifts, dramatic change, I'm ready for you. And then I welcome you in to follow along on all the other things that I love to do. But this community, I'm a participant. I'm inside this community. I'm almost a number 7 inside and participating. I love being part of entrepreneur conversation, and I really love engaging in the chat and seeing the different posts here. So pat yourself on the back that you're here because you could be doing many different things and you're here to work on your mindset. When I work with top CEOs of even humongous 8-figure companies, it's always what else could I be doing to get to the next step? And it's always mindset first, then action throughout your day. So I'm going to go through some of the common mistakes that people make trying to think clearer, go bigger, set epic goals. I'm also going to go through first a little bit about epic goals, because when you set an epic goal, I'm going to give you 3 steps. 1, clearly, it should be so epic that you do become the hero in your own story, right? There's the negative to positive storyline that you hear from every successful person inside this community, that it wasn't just all perfect every single day, that there really was an epic story behind it all. And it's so nice to hear that from people, because when you go through an epic journey, you are becoming that version of you that is not going to just have a challenge-free life. It's how you show up in the challenges. I formed a company many years ago called Strong Confident Living, and now that's my community name here on School. And I just launched it January 1st, but my company's been around for many years. And it's, how do you show up not on the easy days, but on the days that are really difficult and challenging, the days you want to give up? And where can you find that secret sauce inside of you to keep going? That's so when you get to that success, and you have those big wins, I can guarantee you're going to look back on those days and be like, I'm so glad I didn't give up on that day or that day or that day. But those are the moments that are the fruits of the labor when you do get there. And so I'm going to go through a few things first in the setting of epic goals. And one of them is to go beyond logic. This is step 1. So go beyond logic. A lot of times when I work with high achievers, they're only thinking in the path that they're currently locked into. And when you're only thinking logic, you're not really using your imagination. You're not really using your ability to tap to a deeper place in your heart. And you can only expand as big as your mindset. Your capabilities will always rise to your mindset. You will always be able to justify where you're at based on how expanded your mindset is. So the first invitation I always make to leaders as they're setting big visions, big goals, they want to get after it. You want to celebrate in December of 2026 that this year was an epic year for you, is to really recognize where am I only looking at the path that I'm currently locked into right now? Because once you have those blinders on, I found that a lot of times people are only stuck on point A to point B and are so stuck in the grind of their current path, they actually don't see all the other paths that are available to you. So with this workshop, my goal is also to help you craft a bigger vision, think bigger, and go a little outside of the path that you're currently, stretch yourself a bit, go outside of the path that's only logical. And when you go into that space, and I've brought people through trainings to get to that space, there's another space of your potential that is, I call it ultra mega success. But there's success, there's measurable success, there's logical success, and then there's immeasurable success. Like the stuff when things go viral, or when companies do go unicorn, where it's you start to see that crescendo up and it's momentum, and suddenly things start taking off. And I live, as a mindset coach, I live for those moments because it's a momentum that you can create, and you got to foster that first inside of you. So one of my big steps that I do work with people is where are you only stuck on where it's logical? Where you not opening yourself up to something that's actually illogical? Just throw out a big dream that's stretching it so far that it's not possible just on your own 2 shoulders. I work a lot in the realm of manifesting big results, the things that you can say amazing, not surprising to, because you can believe in better than expected. It's one of my quotes of well, I want that or better than that. Or, what if I could tap into something that's better than even I expected? You can never get to the better than expected things in life if you're only working in the logical, because then now you're not opening up to the creative where things can come your way that you didn't expect. So I invite you to stretch a goal so big, it can't just be on your own like shoulders actually get done. And it's a really big stretch, because for those of you who have trouble trusting, it's going to require a lot of trust to release that you can go beyond logic into something so big. It would require some kind of intervention outside of you in terms of people, resources, support, companies, coming your way. So that's one way to stretch into an epic goal, is to continuously ask yourself, am I going beyond logic? I love in the chat, like someone saying, dream your God like dreams. Yeah. Like if you want to be an expression of unlimitedness flowing through you, to you, and then be that example, you got to go beyond logic. You got to go to that in your heart. And that's where trust lives. And you got to trust in yourself. You got to trust that there's bigger paths that does exist. And sometimes you got to release how to get there. And that's where a lot of the mindset tools work, because a lot of times people cannot release the but how, Laura. Okay. So that's one thing. Beyond logic, a vision way bigger than you're probably thinking. Like when my niece and I shared in the past workshops, like wanted to go to the Olympics, you would think that's big. And I'm like, you know what? I think Olivia Dunn is going to be bigger than Olympics. Like go to the bigger than Olympic dream. Like Olympics are big, but what if you're even bigger? What if the identity of you that's beyond that big vision is even bigger than that? And then she became the #1 female paid athlete in the United States, but it wasn't the Olympic path. And the path that existed at that time did not exist. NIL, NCAA athletes making money in college did not exist at that time that we started the vision. So you got to really stretch yourself. You got to really go beyond the limits of logic. That's one. Number two, I love this one because it's what most people don't say. Get comfortable being comfortable. Okay, most people say get comfortable being uncomfortable. I've been with my husband for 30 years. I just turned 50 this January. We've been together since we were 19, and he's like the king of get comfortable being uncomfortable. He's a fitness guy. And all tattooed and muscle and all that. And he's always like, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I come from another philosophy, and it makes a good match. I get that you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable to push yourself, right, to a new limit, to give that other rep. But if you got to, this is like a mind blowing tip when I train leaders on this. When you're comfortable being comfortable, you're set a new baseline of what it means to be a leader, what it means to be strong and confident. Again, not just on the easy days, but on the days that you're tested. What's your baseline of happiness? What's your baseline of self-worth? What's your baseline of the most important qualities of a leader? Because you're going to be challenged. And if you don't start getting comfortable being comfortable, meaning a baseline, you're not protecting yourself when those challenges come, when you're running on that racetrack and you fall into that divot. You're going to be less likely to tap into the future you, who can pull your hands and reach out and help you through that challenge. And you're going to be more likely to just throw in the towel, up, be self-critical, And so when I help leaders become like amazing leaders, it is even athletes. It is like, where's your baseline of comfort every day? Because if you don't have a practice of happiness, right? Happiness is not excited. Happiness is flow. Happiness is neutral and calm. Happiness is relaxed, where you can make really critical decisions, not in a stressed, like go environment all the time. That's another energy. And that's required too, to like get after it in business and push yourself. But there's got to be this baseline. And what I found over the years is that most people don't have that baseline very intact. The moment sale doesn't go through, their self-worth is out the window. Like the measurement of success is so one-dimensional, either just on finances or just on this or just on that you put all of this stuff in like one basket, and the baseline is missing. So the next thing to stretch yourself into a greater vision and to set up yourself for success ultimately is to design practices. And this is what I do inside of Strong Confident Living every day, that are healthy, everyday practices of self-worth, happiness, what success actually means to you, confidence, like strength, strong mindset, like these daily practices. So when the challenges get thrown your way, you're like, how's that still working out for me? Right? How is this still fitting into my big dream? Because that's not what I would have expected. And most people, like I said, are really like being hard on themselves, like criticizing themselves, or they just leave whatever project they're working on, start a new project, start the whole process over. So absolutely work on a new baseline for yourself for 2026. Get comfortable being comfortable in my own self-worth before I have the results. Okay, confident in the direction where I'm going before I have the skill set. I know where I'm going. Like confidence, we just had this chat right inside School of Mentors. Someone was asking about confidence. It was a really good chat. Confidence is not knowing all the answers. Confidence is you believe in your vision and the direction in which you're headed towards it and where you're standing in relationship to it. True confidence is without any evidence whatsoever. I believe in myself and where I'm going, and I believe in that outcome. And when you get stuck in point one that I just made, which is just logic, most people are so shortchanging themselves and their success because they're like, I got to learn this skill set, then I'll build confidence in it because now I have the evidence that I could do that skill. And I'm like, that's one way, but you're actually slowing yourself down. You're really slowing yourself down. So because you can build confidence once you have evidence, right? You can get on a bike, learn to ride the bike, and then be confident riding the bike once you know how to ride the bike. Or you can approach your goals with confidence because you know where you're going. Before you could ride the bike, you know you're going to ride it, and you know where that bike's taking you. That's confidence. And so a lot of people again are totally slowing down their success because they're waiting for confidence. They're waiting for confidence, and they're waiting for the evidence and the skills to be developed internally, or even an external person to tell you, good job, now you got this, and then they feel confidence, and then you feel like a badass, and you're like, I got this. Where I'm like, that badass existed in you before you even took a step into that. Do you feel that, or do you need the evidence to feel that? And so when you work on mindset, like when I work with athletes who visualize that gold medal, right? When I work with teams of leaders at companies, like visualization is not new to the elite athlete world. They're definitely visualizing their win. Winning is a feeling before it's a thing. And if it's not the most like comfortable state for you, you're always going to be seeking stuff outside of you to get that feeling. Versus what I'm sharing right now, which is like, this is all mindset. This is like get comfortable being comfortable in all the feelings you want to have that are part of your success. Because success from a monetary standpoint, the way I teach it, is one of 8 dimensions of success. There's 7 that are just as important to you as a human. And if you're not cultivating all of them, the moment that one little slice, which is just like, let's say finances, or just the career slice is not like panning out for you, you're just gonna like fall short on all the other pieces. But when you recognize that you can build this like epic vision, epic goals, and get comfortable in developing who you are through the challenges, you could do anything. You can become unstoppable. All right, so go beyond logic, get comfortable being comfortable, and make a long-term commitment. Make a very long-term commitment, not just a goal that you could accomplish in 30 days from now. If you're looking at 2026, like, and I were to ask you, do you know the top 3 goals you want to be celebrating, like clinking glasses during the holiday season, from Christmas to New Year's? Are you like consciously aware of what you're working on right now, or are you very caught up in the current reality? Because oops,
Yeah.
thanks. Okay, so my definition of stuck is your inability to see past your current reality, right? Your current moment, the current challenge. And unstuck is in the development through your mindset, which is your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical power. But like really, I start mentally and emotionally first to just recognize where are you stuck, because unstuck is in the development of your ability to see past your current reality. So are you always in reactive mode when it comes to your goals of what you're currently up against? Or are you working from a vision, like what I'm sharing with you, such as like it's Christmas or New Year's 2026 going into 2027? Like, what have you crushed in 2026? Like, what are you celebrating? What are your top 3 things personally and professionally that make you, that you are so excited about? And are you on that path? And then you go through my steps again. Like, is that path only the logical path, or did you stretch the celebration? Did you design that baseline of comfort? And are you stretching yourself to a longer term commitment? Do you know what you'd be celebrating? Just take a second. Like, I'll just stop talking for a second. It's hard for me. But number one, like, stuck is just a feeling. Okay. Many of you are new to me, but I build all of my lessons on trust. Trust is the highest level of unconditional love. And when you trust yourself and you learn to trust your process and you trust in the greater plan, you're shown paths. You are exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. Right? There's a great plan for you, and you might already be on that path, or you might feel like you're not. But stuck is just a feeling, just like success is just a feeling, just like unstuck is also a feeling. Falling behind is a feeling. Off track is a feeling. When you learn to do mindset and you see that all these things, even if they're in your reality, are like activating a feeling inside of you, and you have the ability to flip that feeling and create a new result, you become unstoppable through this process. Okay, so whatever you're stuck in, like join into all of the strong confident living stuff. I do a lot of free workshops every week, like every week I'm on Q&As, all different things, because you can get unstuck in anything that like brought you to this moment. You can use your mindset to carve your path out of it. So those are exciting things. All right, here's what not to do. Okay, big pieces of what not to do. And these talk to some of the exercises. I see the chat going on. Yes, it's tough to see past the current reality when mindfulness says to be present. Yeah, I mean, you can be present, like in the power of now, and look at your current reality with a lot of courage, not fear, and see what you don't like, see what's misaligned. And then you can learn to use your mindset. And let's say this was a block, like it was opaque, like you can't see through this cup. But you can use your mindset, let's say this was the block, to see past it. There's another reality past it. I always like tell people, like, I hear your struggles, I immediately flip them into your dreams, because you can develop through your mindset the ability to be present. I like that question. That was a great comment. Look at your current struggles with brave courage, not fear or avoidance, and see past them. Once you learn how to see past the struggle and create the reality in your imagination that's beyond it, you're actually already on the path to manifesting, because you can see it and you can feel it. And now it just has to be brought to you. Like, now reality has to catch up to that vision. But you got to hold the vision. A lot of people don't hold it based on what I've just explained. I love the questions coming in. I'm going to hammer out a few more points, and then let's just jump right into Q&A, because I love Q&A with you guys. It's some of the most exciting content comes out in the Q&A times. So I'm going to keep dishing out some specific things when it comes to vision casting and setting epic goals. This is a big one. This is a don't drag your baggage forward. Meaning, like, whether I was working with an athlete and I'm just like, even if you golfed and, bogeyed that last hole, don't bring that bogey energy into the next hole, because now you're trying to undo the score that you didn't just like. And we do this all the time in business and success. People are entering a new year, you're in a new quarter, it's already February. And one of the most common mistakes that most leaders make when trying to stretch themselves is they're creating the path right now based on what they want to fix and undo of what wasn't working in 2025. And when you get into the mode of fix it, or like need to fix energy, you're dragging the energy of that problem on your back forward into today's decisions. And it's a huge flip. Like, if this is you and you always feel like you're tethered to your past, go right into the classroom here on School of Mentors, do my lesson on the flip it. Make a flip it list where you flip out of, like, you draw a list, you draw a line on the middle page, and you identify the top 3 things that are weighing you down, the baggage that keeps the repetitive pattern alive of the old you that you're fighting against, but you continue to participate in those energy of those problems. And you make a flip it list, you draw a line on the middle of the page, and you create it on the other side. And if you get, or just jump into my community, I have a free community with all these Q&As too. But there's a workshop I did for you guys in School of Mentors here of how to flip the going from undoing your problems to actively creating your solutions towards the path to your big dreams. And sometimes it could be the same action, but you shift the intent. And when you shift the intent, which is the mental and emotional side, before you take action, your life can completely change. And I just did the entire Flip It workshop in October, also at Google, the same workshop I did for you guys. And that workshop was literally like life-changing for these teams, because when you learn to flip it, when you learn to flip negative to positive, problem and solution, you stop fighting your old self, the one that's not getting to the big dream. And you start moving into the identity of your future self, who doesn't know how, isn't locked into the path, but sees the vision. Okay? And now you take a different step forward. So most people, what I found, are really dragging their past and trying to undo their problems versus creatively work towards the solutions and the vision. So that's a big flip you may all have to make. I know I have to like take a pulse on myself every quarter. I work on with my own board of advisors for my own company. Like, what are we flipping? Is there anything here negative to positive that we need to flip? And it's big. It's big. It's just as big as having a multi-dimensional view of your success and having finances be 1/8 of it. Okay, so it's big. Yes, exactly. When you get into fix it mode, you drag it on your back. It's so true. And if any of you feel like you're going into everyday work exhausted and not like full of energy, I'm telling you, you need to do a flip it. You are living off the left side of your flip it, which is what that you are trying to clean up incessantly, all the things you don't want, which is getting you more of what you don't want. Okay? And a lot of times that baggage could be lack. Like I am feeling the lack of resources, lack of capital, lack of this, lack of employees, like I lack. I hear it all the time. And when you're stuck in lack, you are in the land of self-doubt. Nothing feels clear. You're always going to seek evidence to be able to like feel better. And it doesn't work that way. You're going to stay stuck there until you shift your mindset. Well, it's the nice thing is you only need to shift your mindset. Lack and self-doubt are in alignment in the same way trust and abundance are in alignment. So when you learn to make the flip, which is like all my course stuff, right? Like how do you flip from lack and self-doubt and second guessing yourself and seeking the path and starting over into full trust and abundance and solutions and all that you can. So it's a necessary flip, and it's very inspirational because you will wake up energized. You will be like every day, like you'll see your problem, but you'll see beyond the problem. So you could be very aware, see the problem, and be like, that's not aligned. And then you start working on the solution in the energy of your future self that's already past the problem. And that's how I get people to unstuck themselves insanely fast, because who's the identity of you that keeps bumping up against the problem is the same, like, is going to be the same version of you that keeps receiving the same or similar problems. The version of you that uses your mindset to develop the identity of who you are past the problem is the one that needs to make the decision over here. And if you don't have the tools to do it, which that's what I built, like, that's what I realized. I was like, people were just, and I'm just even right now talking philosophies, but everything that I'm talking about, I have a tool for. And that's why like the tool of the flip it is one of your first steps. If you're in my community right now, we're working on the tool, what we call the free pass, how to not engage in the energy of the problem when the problem arises, how to create the space to go beyond logic and have a tool to do it, have like exactly what to say in your self-talk, your thoughts, exactly what to do or not to do. And that's what I realized was missing over the years. There's a lot of philosophy and there's a lot of stuff out there, but like to actually roll up your sleeves and do these things. So this one, don't drag your past baggage forward into today's decisions, is all about the flip it. You got to flip your energy, then take action. It's a difference between an up spiral and a down spiral. So it's a difference between solutions and problems. It's huge. All right, another one that's a big one. It's kind of along the lines of getting comfortable, being comfortable, is to, I call it mood proof, like mood, like a good mood, a bad mood. Mood proof your vision. You got to mood proof your vision, meaning like set a goal, craft a big vision of you like living it, and then ask yourself this question: am I creating a vision that includes no challenges? Then you're not thinking big enough. Am I creating a vision that includes no challenges? If you are, I can guarantee you are shortchanging your potential. You are not thinking big enough. You need to think way bigger, because those divots in the track, those challenges are helping you become who you're meant to become. And if you only see them as the things that derail you versus teach you what you have inside you to become who you're meant to become, you're gonna shrink your potential. You're not gonna go as far as you could. So when you mood proof your vision of success, I always ask myself, how am I gonna show up on the challenging days? How am I gonna show up on the challenging days? I expect the challenges. That's why I don't have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I could be uncomfortable and I could choose ahead of time using the free pass tool I teach you guys. Like, how long are you gonna give the problem your undivided attention? 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, or is it gonna derail you? And a lot of times people let it derail you. But like when you learn how to use the free pass tool, just step one of unstucking all blocks, before you even flip it, I teach this tool. You're learning to decide ahead of time how much energy and attention you're going to give your challenges, because they're going to come. But again, what's your baseline? Are you comfortable being comfortable? So when that thing hits, it doesn't hit as hard. It just activates the negative. I hear that over and over again. Hundreds of people, I've gotten the same testimonial, like the negative thing that I was going through, like it's still there. I don't feel it like even a percentage as much anymore, Laura. Like it doesn't even at all really trigger me. And it used to be the thing that derailed me all day, which keeps you from your highest level energy of going into success. So when you mood proof your success, I even put in my vision board, like, how are you going to show up in the hard days? It's like why you see athletes out there running in the rain. It's not just like, right? How do you become the identity of the successful version of you? That's like the runner in the rain. That will just be, they're going out there for a run, any weather, because that's who they are. When you hear any of the successful interviews here in School of Mentors, it literally, you can hear over and over again, like that, how people showed up when it was hard. So you got to craft a vision, not just on the best version of you on the best days, but even in the vision, if you create a vision board, like where's your support mechanisms? What do you do on those hard days? Have that ready to go. Have that ready to go. So that's a big piece. Mood proof your vision. How am I going to show up on the hard days? Like in my big dream life. I got to Malibu, California, and I was just like, how am I going to show up like on a day, like in my dream life, living at the beach, like when the car breaks down or this happens or that happens. Like you see that over and over again. Like people reach their dream life, but it doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges. So build it into the vision. So when it comes, you expect it in a different kind of way. All right. My next few tips, and then I'll open it up to Q&A, is when you are working on your vision, clear is more important than specific. Okay. If you can't see a specific goal that you have in mind, like it's kind of sending you into self-doubt, work on clarity versus specifics. I say make it crisp, zoom in. Like if you know, you're like, I want to have this kind of business, like, and I want to then live in this kind of house, but I don't really know where, then I'm like, then zoom into like the kind of morning you want to have, that you wake up, you see a view, you put your coffee cup down, start to make the vision clear in your everyday stuff. Because when I work with, and I've like gotten to all different levels of success in my own personal life and with a lot of people that I've worked with, when it comes down to it, even like in that level of success, it's like, taking the dog for a walk, like it's like still like loving my like kitchen table. Like it's, you'd be surprised how important these everyday moments need to like get your attention and go into your vision. Because there's something kind of a hack that I'm going to teach you from a manifesting along this line is like I manifested my way from Denver to Malibu by like sipping a cup of coffee in bed and then imagining that I would like have that same view but outside like the ocean, and I connected to the version of me again, like let's say this is Denver Laura when I lived in Colorado. This was like I have no idea how, and this is the current Laura that you see right now living in California. Well, I connected to that version of me through the everyday moments that were in my clear, bigger vision. So it's not, don't just make sure when you're making a big vision, it's just not the big goals and milestones, but it's how you see yourself in the everyday. Like, this is how I see myself drinking coffee. This is how I see myself like brushing my teeth at that level of success. Like, this is how I see myself, like I have 3 boys, like bringing my kids to school, like at that time, now they're in like college and stuff. But like, it's such a, thank you, golden tip, because if you don't connect the current you to the future you and the current you will feel very far when it's still you. But you think this you is like a you that feels far off. And then you're only going to see the lack between where you stand today and where you want to be going. And that lack, that space between, throws most people into self-doubt. But how am I going to get there? I'm never going to get there. Not on this salary, not when this is happening. So it's such a huge hack to, I call it make it crispy, make your vision crispy, meaning like get it crisp, like see that coffee cup, go down on your kitchen table, like see that view outside your window. If you want a big team, like see yourself at a conference table leading that team. And feel the version of you now that's connecting to it through everyday things that you already do that you'll still be doing as that version of you. It's such a hack. Like I'm just like, well, there's a version of me that's still drinking coffee years from now that has all this. Who's that, Laura? And then I would connect to that version while I like sat and had coffee today. Most people are like rushing themselves through coffee, taking their baggage forward, from the past, like doing a lot of things that I'm covering right now. And very like you're really, again, you're only shortchanging yourself because you're working really, really hard, but then you'll not get ahead. You can actually, I love hard work. Like I'm still like very much an action believer. Like I love taking action. I love working late. Like I love what I do. I'm not just saying like sit here and it's all mindset. I'm saying do mindset, then do the work. Not the other way around. Work on your mindset 10 minutes every day, 10 minutes, just a little bit. People just like watch a little 10-minute snippet of my lessons or different things, and then they're like on track for the day, or they do one of my tools every morning. Just boom, it just sets you back up. So mood proof it. Clear and crispy. My last two like nuggets, and then we'll open it up. I was like, all right, I'm glad you're liking this. Is engaging your senses. When you create a big vision, don't just make it visual. A lot of times people think vision board, vision is sight, and I'm like a real vision. The way I vividly teach people to craft a vision is engaging all your senses. You are not one dimensional. Your vision is just not sight. Just like your success is not just money. Right? So you got to engage all of your senses. You got to work on what would your dream life smell like? Like what would it like? What would you be like tasting in that kitchen? Like you got to look at the vision of that and make it multi-sensory. Because that version of you like has more than one sight, which is eyesight. And I always like to say insight is more important than eyesight. Use their inner faculties, insight, imagination, do the internal work, self-worth. This is how I feel my self-worth before I have the evidence. I sit down, I engage my senses, like I make success like a very multi-dimensional experience that is engaging like everything. I imagine my kids walking in from their golf game being like, Ma, like, they're bantering back and forth, who got a birdie, who got this, who got that. Like I see the family like success. I see my business success. I mean, I am like 1 month into launching my own community. I already have like a little star next to my name. I was like, what's the star? And I was like, top 1% builder here on school, like on this amazing platform. And I'm like, amazing, not surprising. Because I know where I'm going with it. I know where I'm going with this, with my own business and community and tools and all that. Like the fact that things then surprise you, then is like not a surprise. So amazing, not surprising. I worked that in my imagination is what I'm saying. Like I like literally built in my imagination. I have like, whether I say on school, I've been on other platforms before. I mean, this community and this school is amazing, but I'm just like, wow, like I just know I have like one of the most engaged communities, and I could feel it and I could see it, and now I have it. Like I had it like boom in like less than a month because I saw that vision first. Exactly, Ron. Amazing, not surprising is a hashtag of my life because first, I'll give you the quick ladder of it. First, you got to see the vision you want as you engage your senses, as you see things and they're triggering up, maybe even like you're seeing what other people have and you desire it, right? You see all these millionaires, billionaires come talking and all this stuff, and you're like, I want that too. Amazing. That's great external motivation. Bring it into the internal. And start with, I have like a little system that first I say, I want, my first Laura quote is that or better. I want that or even better than that. Like I am open to being shown greater paths. I want that kind of business. I want that kind of community or even better than that. I want that kind of receivables. I want that kind of clientele or even better than that. I want that or better. Like show me it could even be better, but I want that. Like that's clear to me. Like that is clear. That's misaligned. That's aligned. I want that. Like I don't get triggered very easily because it's that or better. I don't want that. Okay, thank you. I flip it. I do want that or even better than that. Okay, so that or better is like a first level of vision casting. I want that vision or even better than that vision. I can't wait to see how this comes. I got to hold the vision and allow the paths. I got to trust there's multiple paths. Just like my niece didn't have to go to the Olympics to be rich and famous. She like designed this identity and then the paths unfold to you. They meet you there. Okay, so that or better. Let reality catch up with your mental and emotional state, not the other way around, or you'll always be reacting to your reality and stay stuck in it. The next level up is better than expected. So once you know you want that vision, that or better, then you can open yourself up as you go beyond logic and you learn all my tools to do all these things. I'm just, again, talking philosophy, but I promise you I have like tools. I have like a set of 6 tools that you learn over and over again. You just keep doing them. But the better than expected is your next level up. Like, wow, that's bad. That came out better than expected. Like I wanted that or better. And now that did show me something that was even better than expected. I couldn't have just done all that by myself. Okay, now you're in the track of trust. You're allowing things to be shown to you. You're trusting yourself and the process and the greater plan so much. You're holding the vision. And then amazing, not surprising. I live now in awe of my life and what I'm able to create because I've practiced these tools for a while and I teach these tools all day long and I eat them and I breathe them and I sleep and I like, it doesn't mean my life's challenge free. I just actually had to move this workship from last week to this week because my son was in the hospital last week for his appendix. So I had to get taken out. So it's like, life throws you things. It's like, how is this still working out for my vision? I'm meant to be in Louisiana with him at LSU. Now I'm here and back at my house and I'm dishing this out today. So you just have to keep rolling with it strong and confidently until you get to the amazing, not surprising. The amazing, not surprising is like amazing, but now not surprising because life is amazing. Okay? Life doesn't have to be a power struggle. Whatever you're struggling with right now, you can unstuck yourself. You have the ability to use your mindset to shift what you believe to be true, to shift what you're anticipating the outcome to be, to shift whether you're placing more confidence that the negative is going to happen to you, or are you confident that the positive is going to happen to you? And if the negative is happening to you right now, can you hold the vision that the positive is on its way? This is all mindset. And this is what creates a lot of like, not just success, ultra mega success, what you see here in this community. So I'm here again as a community member. I love to guide you, make sure that it's your vision, not anyone else's. Ask yourself, is this my vision or is it someone else's? Is it someone else's for me? Am I thinking too small? Just give me these last 5 nuggets as we close out and then I'll open up to Q&A. Is it really my vision? Or is it someone else's? Was this my mom's, my spouse's, something that I was raised in thinking that I had to be? Go big, go beyond logic again. Am I thinking too small? Am I shrinking myself because I'm scared? It's fear of rejection, fear of all kinds of fears that we work through to flip fears to confidence. Am I making my vision and happiness conditional, or am I happy right now before this vision comes true? If you don't have, again, the baseline of comfort of being happy, no matter what, I call it snacking on happy, like chomp chomp. We eat happiness in my community every single day at 4:44. We celebrate every day, snacking on happy, like eating, like literally going into neutral, calm happiness, not excited, but happiness, flow, relaxed, calm, ease. If you don't have a practice for that, where you're 12 seconds a day, 2 seconds, 6 times a day practicing snacking on happy, like learn the tools, because that's what keeps you in flow versus, and it protects you, because if you're in happiness, you are allowing like yourself to notice something that puts a gentle smile to your face. And if you get something difficult that comes your way 5 minutes later, but you just practice neutral happiness, you're going to be in a more calm like state to make a really important executive decision. So a lot of people don't do like have a happiness practice. Are you tying your vision to your self-worth? Don't do that. Make a very multidimensional, like very engaging all your senses view of what success means to you personally and professionally. So am I tying it to my self-worth? Am I only feeling worthy when I have results? And am I feeling unworthy when I'm being rejected versus their loss? Like if you are having a worthiness issue, I can guarantee you are blocking financial abundance. If you are stuck in the land of self-doubt, you are blocking abundance. So we do all these unblocks. And finally, do I believe I deserve it? It's one thing to believe you're confident and capable to get there. A lot of times people sabotage their success in the moment they get there, because they've been going, let's say this is the big trophy. This is the big, like, I sold my business for 200 million, Laura, whatever you're going for. When you put all your success like into like, okay, I can do it. I can get there. I can do it. I can get there. And then you get there. And if you haven't designed the identity of the version of you who sustains that success, that is why people at the door of success tumble back down the hill, sabotage themselves, or they get there and they lose it. They get the girlfriend, lose the girlfriend. They lose the weight, gain the weight. They get the money, lose the money. So there's got to be so much identity work in the maintenance that you believe that you deserve, you are worthy of your wins, of your successes. And that's a whole other, that's the way to get to the vision and be the version of you who lives inside of it. So those are my tips of today of how to make big visions, go big and epic, and do the mindset work before anything. I have very simple, easy practices. I post daily routines every single week in my community. They're so simple. We listen to a 5-minute song. We call it the Up Spiral song, of how to just like, you can imagine like getting a surprise message on your phone and what it says to the positive. I mean, I literally love to teach you some of the easiest 5-minute hacks that you can all do. We're going to open it up to Q&A. And then of course, like you guys, I clearly have designed a lot of content around all these things, how to flip fear to confidence. I have my 6-week like blueprints on money. I have a money course that we're launching live right now this week that many of you have done, how to unstop your money blocks and get after success on a whole other level. We're doing that live right now for 6 weeks, but you could just jump in, you could do the community, you could jump into the free stuff. Like you just literally just be part of the free community. You could ask me questions here in School of Mentors. I'm part of this community, but I'm happy to help in any way. Let's start answering questions. Michael, do you want to help, or should I call on the people and do it myself?
I can spotlight people like that.
Awesome. All right, and I'll take a look at the chat too.
Hi, I'm Lenosha. I do want to throw out, first of all, thank you. This was really good. I really appreciate it. I picked up quite a few things, wrote some notes. I do want to throw out a disclaimer. I'm very linear process oriented thought, and I hope I want to throw that out to make sure I'm catching myself when I say this. If your goals no longer scare you because you fully believe you can achieve them, what should you be working on next? Expanding the goal, deepening your identity, or strengthening the system that support it?
So your question is like your goal is so linear and logical, and like it feels so like it almost feels easy to you now?
No, like it's not that I feel easy. It feels very much like I have to become another person, which I absolutely love. I'm linear in thought. I'm process oriented in thought, and I feel like I'm at a place where I can see myself. I can envision that process, that success, that outcome. It doesn't scare me because I'm so confident in myself.
Okay.
When you're at that place, what should you start working on next?
Well, are you feeling like you're in an upward trajectory toward it, or do you feel a little stuck?
Yes.
Like, do you feel like every day I wake up, I'm making like headway toward it? Nothing's like throwing me off, curveballs, or like I can jump right over them.
I feel every day I'm taking strides in the right direction, and really decent strides, good chunks of strides. Like I'm completing objectives and goals and sections of accomplishing a particular space of maybe acquiring the property, learning how to acquire property with better, understanding text breaks. Like I'm really understanding the minutia of where I'm at and the growth as a person. And when I do have roadblocks, I love the book or the poem autobiography in 5 short chapters. There's a hole in my sidewalk. So I understand if I'm walking down the street and I fell into a hole, whose fault is it? My fault? Somebody else's fault. Get out the hole. Don't walk down the same street. So I'm applying a lot of lessons to life and doing the right thing. And it's not that I feel like I'm perfect exactly where I want to be, but I'm curious on what else should I be adding to my day or to my vision.
I love it. I mean, you sound very self-aware, and that you're doing the identity work. You're doing the like what it takes to build the belief in myself and taking action toward it. You want to stay on that path and fuel the fire like within you. That is like not the one that's leaving the old version behind, like no self-judgment, like that version got you here. And now you really want to, like, I think what you said is spot on. The identity work of who's this version of me that walks through the day with this goal already accomplished. How does she step into a restaurant? How does she take this call right now? And if you're not being that person yet, that's what you want to work on, closing the gap. Like, well, what does she think? What does she say? What does she do? What different actions does she take when she's up against a challenge? And start working on, like, I have a 4-quadrant tool inside my program that we do this. That's really good for logical linear thinkers, because you take out a piece of paper and you identify thoughts, feelings, actions, and what you're imagining to be true. And in 5 minutes, you can see where you are about to take action that's misaligned. And it's a really fabulous tool. I have people like that are your kind of learners that literally have a happy tears when they learn that tool, because like sometimes, especially with manifesting and identity work, because it's not who you are yet. It feels, and it is a nonlinear process of becoming that version of you. You're expanding your identity. You're shifting who you are, like at a belief level, which sometimes doesn't feel very tangible, even though you're like, I'm here, but who am I becoming? So having a tangible, that's why I built the tools. And I built them, my dad's an engineer, so I like kind of built them very logical, linear. But to connect to that version of you that's, in your heart, that I feel like you're on a really, again, good path. I feel like you can, if you jumped in and started doing some of my tools, like the 4-quadrant tool, the congrats card from your future self tool, let's see. I really think you're going to love the 4-quadrant tool. If you jump in, you start doing some of the tools, that would be like an everyday practice that you can read and work from. So you're making sure before you start taking action that day that, again, you have like a 5-minute practice where you're seeing very tangibly on a piece of paper, you're feeding yourself the emotional state you want to be in, the thoughts you're having, the kinds of actions you're going to be taking that day, and what you're imagining the outcome to be true. Because sometimes people are like, this is what I imagined for myself, but then I don't feel it, Laura. right? Like, or like, I want this big success, but my thoughts are saying this to me. You're never gonna, or you're too young, you're too old. So you could quickly see where you're misaligned, and you'll love it because you can like, it's the way that you can give yourself your own mindset tune up in 5 minutes any given day. And it shifts leaders because you can suddenly be like, now you're gonna get more done in less time because your work, like people say aligned action, but most people don't know how to do aligned action. And now your actions will be totally aligned because they're aligned in your thoughts, your emotional state, your actions, and what you're believing and imagining to be true. And then you go about your day, and it shifts everything. But yeah, I would say your next stuff is identity work and having like just maybe deeper tools to do the work and have practices and things that you can fall back on.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're great. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. Andrew, I guess. Hi. Wait, you're still muted.
There we go. It was like stuck. Hey, Laura, it's such a privilege. Thank you so much. That was really great. I was just curious on everything that you talked about, what you might recommend for my next step or focus for someone who deals with waves of self-doubt and insecurity and that worthiness piece. Specifically around my business revenue. I want to be careful with the word need, but I want that to go up, the business revenue. But I'm also going through a breakup, and my business is a dating coaching business. So it like really, I feel like I'm being played. And so I don't have a problem coaching the clients. That's fine. But it's the marketing. It feels vulnerable. It makes me sad. It makes me think of my ex. My ex makes, it's just, so I would just be curious to know what you would recommend about this situation.
I mean, you really want to isolate the different areas of your life, the different categories, which is why I have different, like when you guys jump into my content, you see like I originally had just one 6-week blueprint, like of like how to get unstuck, stop like engaging in that negative trigger, how to see past it, like what I was saying, how to flip it, how to create the identity of your future you, and then close the gap and trust it all. So I have these 6 steps that you do over and over and over again. You're in the initial steps of the 6-step blueprint, which is how do I not participate in the trigger when it's like literally in my face or like this is my business and it's making me of the stuff that I don't want. That is the first like free pass lesson that I was describing earlier, because you gotta have the tool to create the space to not react from the trigger. And without a tool, most people just react and keep getting the same old or just try to avoid the trigger altogether, and avoidance magnifies it. Right. So if you were to just like run and hide from this, like versus face it, and I'm like applauding you because you're facing it. You're like, this is really, really hard. Actually, it sucks. Like this, I'm in this thing and it's reminding me of that, right? Like you're in it. And I'm like, wow, who's this like powerful person in front of me that's meant to rise above this, be this person who launches this company with a real like solid heart of like, I know you, I've been there, I was you, you know what I mean? Like you literally talking to your clients from a very personal perspective. And I wouldn't recommend doing it now, like minus the private stuff that you're doing. You don't need to go out there now, because on a public, like you don't have to go out there now saying what's happening to you is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I kind of did once, and so they like, no, but that's all. Yeah,
you can flip it. My point is that you don't have until it's healed and sealed.
Yeah,
you continue that energy forward. So like just you don't if you're doing it to make you feel better, like
yeah, I think that's why I did it once.
Yeah, because sometimes like we want to like hold something and feel false.
Okay.
So we say things like before we've healed them. Yeah. We think it'll make ourselves feel better, that they need to know.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good, like if you're in my Unstuck Your Blocks lesson this week, this would be a good lesson for you, because I'm literally working on this exact thing. How do you show up when the trigger's there and in your face, and you need a tool? And that's the free pass tool that I teach, which is how do you create that space so you can decide on the day that you have the courage to share your story in a very matter-of-fact way, like almost like no positive charge to it, no negative charge, just it is what it was kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So for the lessons, maybe look at the unstuck blocks, because you're saying it's obvious I'm being triggered, so I need to create the space to not react from the trigger, right? Yeah.
If you react from the trigger, you're going to keep the energy alive of that problem, and you're more likely to remanifest it over and over again, even in a future relationship. It's why people like keep having similar situations happen over and over again, because a lot of times people are reacting from the same old stuff. And you need to see the version of you that creates the space, rises above it, and reacts from a very different playing field than where you are right now. And that's the version of you that you need to take action from. And if you can't find that version of you, you've got to develop that version of you.
I think I can. Yeah. All right. That's incredibly helpful, honestly. Thank you so much.
Yeah. There's a version of you that's so passive. You're really successful to the next level in whatever endeavor, and that's the version of you want to make decisions from.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Lucy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, so I've got a question about raising prices. So obviously with building a big vision, one of the hopes is that, you need obviously to raise your revenue so that you can achieve your goals and your dreams. And I've created, a successful child therapy company. So we've got like a really solid brand. It's all, it's really, really like, got a team of therapists. It's, been developed over 13 years. But something I struggle with every single year without fail is this like stress about raising prices. And I know that I have to do it if I want to, achieve my dreams. But like I'm thinking that April's coming up, it's a good time to raise prices. And it just causes this like yearly or like bi-yearly like anxiety in me. And I don't know how to like overcome it really. A couple of years ago, I joined a mastermind. And they made me restructure all my pricing, and I'm changed from like charging session by session, which is common in my industry, to moving to like packages. And that was like really highly anxiety. I had so many sleepless nights because I just had so much guilt around charging families. The entry point was now a lot higher because they had to pay for like a number of sessions rather than just a single session. And that was just like such a big stress for me. And now again, I'm thinking, okay, April's coming. I haven't raised prices for a couple of years. I should do it. I want to pay my therapists more. I want to reward them. But equally, that means raising the prices. But then what if we lose clients and then I'm losing clients to my therapist?
I'm interrupt you with love. And in my community called the Jersey Slap Slap. It's a refreshing slap with love. I'm from New Jersey, even though I live out in California now. Just to talk with you directly that no matter what you do or like what changes in the industry, you want to work on your self-worth. I would run into my money course. I have such the deepest lessons on how to build self-worth. Just like it's just like you're connecting the pricing to your worth. And in that connection, you're creating like judgment. Like now you're lacing judgment on top of that self-worth issue, where you're judging like that you'll be judged. And you can completely break free from this. Like what if you added zeros and zeros to your whatever rate, and it was because people are coming to you for your energy and what you've developed. It sounds amazing for children, and like your monetary amount and your self-worth, you're connecting. And then again, on top of it, you're lacing in judgment on top of it. So you're in a swirl where of course you're anticipating this ick thing every year that you have to do, that you don't want to do. You're actually creating, if anyone, and I appreciate like the context of this is not uncommon, but it's creating a toxic hold between you and money. Like that is not how you open up the doors to abundance. So I don't know where you're at in terms of abundance, but it's setting yourself up for a block when your money story is like feeling like I anticipate this anxiety, like it's caging me into, otherwise it's caging me in to this price that I know I don't want to be. like the story and emotional power you're giving this money is not entirely positive, which doesn't open the door to more of it. So that's why I'm saying, if I were you, just we're launching it live this week, jump right into my money course. It is like years of private coaching, many people. And years ago, after I was on Netflix, I added a 0 to my hourly rate. 0. I went from 240 to 2,400 an hour, and I have a waiting list. So do not, like, these tips I'm giving you are the same tips I give my private clients. I'm not like holding anything back right now. I'm just saying that my years of development of getting paid a lot of thousands of dollars, I know what you've been, because I, like, at first I was $90 for 30 minutes, because that's what I thought. Then I was like 240 for like an hour. And then I created like so much incredible results. Like, if you believe in your product, it sounds like what you're making is
definitely.
But you're connecting your self-worth and the results these children are getting to your money and self-worth stuff. Like, the moment I disconnected, like, people are, I mean, I can't even, I have story after story after story of, you know, I've helped so many people make millions of dollars. Like, I mean, businesses through the roof. I mean, I have so many success stories. Like, I don't have this, you can look things up. I don't even have to, like, I'm not out here to be like, this is my bio kind of thing. I'm just saying that the day that I recognized that my self-worth and my time, my time and energy was the most valuable to me, and how I spent it and who I spent it with and where I spent it. And I put my business in its own bucket. I mean, I can help people manifest faster and get their problems unstuck faster than I don't even know anyone else who can do it faster. And I don't mean that like in an arrogant way. I mean that in a confident way. I help people get unstuck out of giant situations into massive success. Then I realized, I mean, people pay me a lot of money, and they would even add more zeros to it. They would literally add more zeros to it, because the value of what I give and what their results are has now nothing to do with how I see my self-worth. You see
Yeah, but what about the guilt around, like, you know, lots of the families I work with are regular people who may not have thousands and thousands of pounds. Like, obviously, I do have some.
I'm not saying
have some free content. Yeah, sorry.
I'm not saying to give. I'm not saying to do what I did and add a 0. I realized at that time that I was getting on shows and doing all these things. I was like, I can't just be on like one-on-one calls, private coaching for $240 an hour, like, for the rest of my life. Like, I have to get myself to another level, and these people are getting amazing results. I added a 0 so I could just have a few clients at a time and do a lot of free content. I went on TikTok. I started started working with the homeless in LA. Like, I do all these things now free. I have $9 a month, I have $99 a month. I mean, I have every level that you can probably consider. So it's not a level thing, and it's not the guilt of like, how am I going to reach all those people? Because you're talking now about, again, your guilt. Like, you could do, I give so much free. I mean, that's why my community is free. It's like, I give so much free. I do free Q&As every month. Like, I do so much free, because that's what feels good to my heart and my mission of me and my purpose. And I'm just hearing you. And it's like, you're, again, making guilt and self-worth so tied to money. And once you untether your money story of self-worth and guilt, and you put the things in the proper buckets, I have this lesson in the money course. That's why I'm like, do the money course. But I point you right to, it's called the green bucket lesson. And it helps you put something in the yellow bucket, what you need to put in the blue bucket, and what goes in your green bucket. And you can immediately see how you're mistying your self-worth, and even now the guilt and shame around your prices. That is a huge, that's blocking abundance. You can open up to a whole other audience at all different pricing levels, less expensive, more expensive, whatever it is. No guilt. You gotta, yeah, I would, if you could, do a flip it and do that lesson, because you've got to have the self-worth. Well, guilt, by the way, is the biggest blocker, because now you're in rejection of yourself and feeling guilty, and you're rejecting this feeling. Guilt is rejection. And when you're in rejection mode, you're not in loving abundance mode, you're in fear mode. You're creating conditions, like if-thens. So it's, Joanna, it's the green bucket lesson inside my money course. I don't know if I could share my screen. I could show you guys, but I would do, so Lucy, you just have to, if you do nothing of my work, at least jump into my community and kind of start to see the success stories of people who have broken free of that. But if you can jump in, start to learn the tools, because the unlock of this is pure potential for you and abundance. And like, you will feel so free to be like, well, now this is $25, this is $2,500. Like, it'll have no connection to your worth.
Yeah.
You get me?
Okay, yes, thank you. Where can I find the course? Sorry.
You could jump into my school. I think Michael's
course.
course.
Oh, it's on school. Oh, yes, yeah. And sorry, I just interrupted you and say, I promise.
I promise the other side of this is so like full of freedom for you, because freedom's a feeling in your heart, and you're not letting yourself feel the freedom. And freedom is so tapped into abundance. You're like, actually, you're blocking your ability to feel free. And like, I mean, you can charge whatever you want to charge, and you can help whoever you want to help at all different levels. And you are still worthy, and you could be guilt-free. That's my point. You got to unlock these things.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Anita.
Hi, Laura. Amazing energy. So wonderful to be in this call with you.
Great.
I like your hat. It feels like it's a manifesting hat too.
It's my thinking cap.
So with that, so my question is, you know, I think I've already come up with what my purpose and my large vision is. It's pretty big. It's really big. It's crazy. But I also have like ancillary ideas around it, which are more achievable, so to speak, or more realistic. So with all of that, like, I guess, where do I start? Do I just say, okay, I'm going to just hit this big idea, which is completely crazy? But that's the thing that really drives me, because that's like the only thing that I feel like, hey, this is the only thing I feel a purpose. Like, I just want to wake up and do it. Everything else, it's more like to make money.
Yeah.
You know, because you need money to do the things that you need to do.
Well, if you need to do the other pieces, you got to make your vision bigger, so they're part of the success story, and that you're not going into those things like with a grudge, like with a, I like, ooh, this is exciting, and I can't stand this, but this thing pays the bills. You got to go into a bigger vision where, right, the thing that pays the bills helped fuel that.
Right. And they all are. My question is like, where do I, like, which one do I start, and which one, like, where do I, like, how do I funnel my energy to start with, right? Because they're all cool things, but one is sort of the main thing I feel super excited about. The rest of it are more like to help that. So how do I
leadership? Okay, I have leadership that I do every 6 months. I just did this lesson. I'll show you the picture of it. I just did this lesson with my leadership group. So every 6 months I launch like a leadership cohort, and my next one's probably launching like April. I do April to October, October to April. Anyway, I do this lesson of the tree of growth, where you learn to put your ideas into a tree, and like they all deserve different branches, and then we work on growing them, cultivating them, this different things. But if you're a visual learner, it's really cool, because what you're asking me, I actually just did a lesson on with my leadership group, because a lot of them have many ideas and they're not sure exactly like where to put them, like what you're saying. And when you visually can see them, like that, I always say, like, there's a time and a place for all your things. you know,
Yeah.
like you don't have to do them now and feel scattered and overwhelmed. And you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I have so many ideas. Like, should I just focus? You could focus on one branch right now and put them up in the other, you know, in the other parts of your tree. So I kind of, it's an hour-long lesson, but it's just like, you're in that track. It sounds like you should start with the thing that lights you up the most and see if they're ancillary or vertical markets. Like, I would still recommend, even at in my premium level, like in my courses, just my vision board course, even like what I touched upon some of the things in my vision board course today, you got to craft a bigger vision that holds all the paths, like a big umbrella.
And that's literally exactly how it is. But I'm just trying to figure, okay, should I just focus on that? Or
well, no, now you need to trust a plan. So if you don't have a plan that you're like executing on all of them, right? Then
no,
like,
I have on all of them, I have a plan on the big vision.
that's fine. Then like then again, know that there's a time and place for all things, and it has less to do with time and more to do with energy. Because when you have excitement about what you're working on, you find the time. It's really interesting because you could do all of them and someone would tell you just focus on one of them. But I'm saying that sometimes when you dabble over here and you dabble over there, because you're in the energy of excitement and you love all the things you're doing, and you're not seeing them as distractions. Fear often comes as distractions that keep your eye off the prize. But when you're actually working in a plan, and you're like, when I don't trust myself, I trust a plan. And I have a plan to execute every day.
They all feed into each other. And one follow-on question, if I may, is the biggest fear is, and again, all of this is actually related to fitness. And so this is to bring fitness to other people, right? And all the pieces that feed into it. And I've actually accomplished quite a bit of that myself. My personal fear is if I'm doing this for the business, that I may fall back on my own fitness, everything accomplished. So it's maybe like the one thing that's sort of just like where I'm pausing, as opposed to going 10,000% into it.
Well, wherever you have fear and you're aware of the fear, you can face it. It's and then you can create a plan that, you know, so you don't get stuck in that fear. Like, it's good that you're aware of it, because once you're aware of it, you can shift it. It's the blocks around it that I'm possibly hearing that are not that it's the blocks you don't know you have. That's where mindset comes in. So as a coach, I'm always like, you might think it's that until you actually do the unstuck your block stuff, and you're like, oh, it was really fear of, like, it seems like that you're worried about just falling off, but then once you fall off, like, you don't want to be the example of that, and then fear rejection and fear what other people think, or fear of reaction. Like, there's usually other fears around the fear we think it is. But the first step of awareness is very important. But I'm just sharing with you from my heart that there's usually like blocks that most people don't realize they're having in that fear. So we think it's that. We go to, like, let's say the house was on fire. We're like, it's that. We shut the window of like that, and then the smoke starts going out the other window. So it's like there's like something underneath that. That seems too superficial to me about you, because you feel very like self-aware to me. That I don't think that's actually the real block. I'm just.
So what is the course that you're recommending?
I'm calling you out with love. It's my Jersey slaps out. Michael just gave me. Inside my women's school mentors. Inside. So when you guys go to my community, you'll see, like, just jump in. This is me and my sister Kat. This is my niece Livy that many of you know. Join in. It's free. I just launched it in January. The community is bopping. But when you go in the classroom, I would work on like the vision board stuff. Like, I would like dreaming versus visioning, like how to get clear in this. In the money course. I mean, you're kind of working on all this stuff right now. Your path to purpose, the alignment to your vision. This is that 4-quadrant I was talking about earlier. You really need this one. The confidence upgrade with like how to really truly face the fears, recognize the ones you didn't know you had, and then like crank up the confidence. This is what I was touching upon earlier, how to do that or better than expected. You know,
I will admit I have another fear, which is, who am I to do this? I will admit I have that. That's
the one I was detecting, because then if you fell off and weren't fit, like it's like the self-sabotaging behavior that often goes with success, and it's normal. It's because you haven't created the identity of the person you're becoming strong enough that voice is stronger than the weak voice that's doubting you. And so the weak voice that's doubting you or second guessing is being louder, and you just need to practice the next version of you. So I built the tools that are how to practice it in 5 minutes, you know, here and there. They're 1-hour lessons, but they're deep lessons. This is like the deep stuff that I do with private clients over many, many years that are now in these like lessons. And I'm launching the money course now live this week. Like, tomorrow's an encore event of week 1. So we're launching it. I just launched my school community. We're launching the money course right now live, so I could be personally like handholding you guys through it. Those lessons unlock so much. I mean, someone just shared in the community, Christina, who found me here at School Mentors. She just manifested $23,000 and she was trying to manifest 10,000. And she shared exactly what block she did, exactly what lesson she did. And I'm just like, you know, these are the success stories that come in all the time. Not just money, but just like this. Like, how do I get over this fear of rejection, reactions, confrontation? Like who am I to? Like, all that stuff. All right. So I hope to see you somewhere inside there. Whatever point makes sense. Not a push from me, just sharing with you guys. This stuff all exists, and it's been like many years in the making. And it's fun to do. Yeah, if you're stuck in I see Joshua's comment, like, who am I to do this or teach that? Like, there is the limiting beliefs, and then I teach you how to like do a no labels, no limits. I'm like I did work so hard. Like, I do deserve this. Like, you can actually create the self-talk and have tools. I teach a success pie again that goes, so you see that you are worthy. So when you look at a tool and you're like, I am worthy of receiving, like, I have worked really hard. I did make it through these challenges, and you go through, you know, you can really remove your unlimiting beliefs with tools quite easily. You just, you know, I made it very linear. All right, Rahul. Hi.
Oh, yes. Yeah, hi, Laura. How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yes, I'm here. I'm glad to be on here, and Michael, thank you for starting this this video call here. And actually, I'm someone building in media and tech, and
Nice.
here's thank you. Here's one scaling a brand-driven company. What's the inflection point where you stop optimizing for growth and start optimizing for durability?
You're asking me?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so I heard the tech. At what point do you stop optimizing for durability, and when do you, or growth? Say that again.
Yeah, sure. So, like, what's the inflection point where you stop optimizing for growth and start optimizing for durability? Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, so that inflection point, you start to create momentum. So first, it feels very plateauy for a while. Like, you know, it feels sometimes that you're building, not seeing results. A lot of times when I work with, you know, people in companies that are building a company, let's say, and then the inflection point, there's like a little inflection point that feels like a little bit of momentum, and then there's another inflection point where you kind of like, it goes like this, okay, into more of a 90-degree. Where I come in as a mindset coach, like, let's say the path goes like this, and you're like, and then the company starts growing, and there's like, again, there's an inflection point like at the first pivot up, and there's another inflection point that I found like as it hits momentum. What you need to do from a mindset coaching perspective is, when you start right now, wherever you're at, You got to be creating the identity of the version of you that is in the outcome beyond that, like durability and growth, or growth to durability model. Like you got to go to I call it point Z when I train leaders, that it's not just A, B, C, D, like that's logical and linear. You want to create the version. And this is usually like when I go into companies like Google, like we're like, what's our point Z? What are we working on? That's point Z version of this company today. And how are we making decisions that are in alignment to that? So the inflection point of growth happen faster. So I don't know if that answers your question, because I usually see 2 inflection points, but they can happen faster, and other paths can get you there, like other paths and even different inflection points can get you there. But the goal from a mindset coaching perspective is, am I designing the identity of the future me that's living inside this company that's already scaled to this capacity? And how does that version of Raul step into his day? And that's how you want to like conduct meetings. That's how you want to send emails. That's how you want to behave on an action level.
Right, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I guess just a quick follow-up to that, so I can just give you a little bit of context on like what I'm working on in terms of the media and tech side of things. So my vision is to build an app for content creators and like other talent around the world, where users can book them for virtual events as well as physical events, and tying VR technology and AI to it. So I guess from your perspective, I guess from what you've seen like out there in terms of like other tech products, I guess do you see this as like a viable product, like someone people could use in the future, or like I guess in terms of starting this out, how do you envision like moving forward?
I mean, it sounds like a cool direction for sure. I think when you seek other people's opinions outside of your own, you're going to get a mixed bag. Some people are going to tell you that sounds amazing, like go after it with all of your might and don't ever quit on yourself. And some people are going to be like, all right, that exists already. There's TikTok and there's VR, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to know the vision in your heart despite the noise, because the evidence is going to weigh in on, you're always going to receive the evidence outside of you of how you feel. So if you're 50-50, you're going to get 50 people, 50% of people are going to be like, that's an amazing idea. And 50% of people are going to be like, if you're 75-25, I guarantee it. This is why I tell people never make a pros and cons list, because you're always going to get the evidence of exactly how you feel. If you're 80% wanting to do something and 20% not, you will always get the evidence that justifies that. So I'm going to flip it back to you and have you work on your mindset to make this the biggest idea ever that like has ever come along in tech, and that you're open to evolving it as technology evolves so fast these days, from app building to VR stuff, and make it happen. Like literally build out the dream and make it happen, and be the one that cultivates it and conducts it.
Yeah, definitely. No, thanks so much for that, and I really appreciate it. I joined your community as well, so
okay, yeah, build the trust bucket. There's a lesson in my content, if you guys go into the classroom, called the trust bucket, and it's about how to flex trust when you have no evidence, because that's really what faith, allows you to do, which is, I don't see anything. Show me. It would feel a whole lot better if just everyone in the world told me it's a great idea. Things were just working out today, but they're not. And you need to flex trust, because you have an unlimited ability to trust yourself and your decisions and your choices moving forward. And a lot of times people are still beating themselves up for a past choice that they've made that they wish that's the baggage thing that I talked about earlier. You got to clean up the baggage and not make a decision today that is to undo anything. You don't want to create this company to undo where you're at, or you'll get back to where you're at. You want to create a new company, or you want to do something in connection to where you're going, and just so bright. All right.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, thanks so much.
Go for it. Visma, you've been waiting patiently.
Okay.
Hello there, Joshua.
Hello, Laura. Finally,
How are
I have possibility to see and to say to your eyes. I really want to say thank you very much for amazing. For me, you like the energy from universe to give us all the charging power. Because when I feel a little bit sad, I just watch your videos, and after 5 seconds I already boost and I can jump and I can go. Because I don't know from where you have this energy, but like you're talking 1.5 hours and you just don't stop. You do this, you do that. Of course, because this is your way. This is your, like, you find your way and you find your knowledge and you like to support. So your energy, like, it's mega light. So I want to really thank you, and you really make my days happy when I feel a little bit sad. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I've seen your comments. Was it either here in School of Mentors or in my Strong Confident Living community about you getting lit up by my videos, and I appreciate meeting you and seeing you face to face.
Yes, this for me also appreciate. Now I want to ask you, but for me, the secret question. Always when I try to do some big deals, like really big deals, 100 million, 10 million, whatever, everything is go smooth and everything is going right direction, the contracts and so on and so on. But suddenly the last moment, one condition is not working. And like I'm sometimes losing my like beliefs, and like, why is always the last moment is changing? What is the people wrong, or what's going on? And then I remember you, and I always say, okay, this time will happen. And I talk with my friend and I say, oh, hello, billionaire, how are you doing today? And so on, so on. So they also start be happy, like believe it's going to happen. But again, the last moment is like, boom, even today. We have a refinery. They're selling in Dubai, 500 million, and we talk with one person in London. It's very interesting. We provide all information, blah, blah, blah. And today you come back, oh, I'm thinking about, I say, what, you're not happy? Just tell information. Give me more. What is the story? It's just, okay, if you don't have the client or what's going on, because that person who we're talking, he worked before for Lukoil, and he's really in the business of the oil, so he's really nowhere. And I say, what's going on? And again, like silence. Okay, give me like some time. So I want to understand why is that magic key? Why is always last second is closing?
Yeah, it's not uncommon in all business. Like that, there's it's like even how people like at the end, even in like people buy houses, and then at the end of the day, like don't buy a house, or it happens across all industries where people pull out. However, if it's a pattern that continuously happens and you never sign the deal, then there's likely something with self-worth going on that, like I mentioned it earlier. There's this lesson that I'm going to show you in the classroom. When you go into the vision board content, it's a dream life you deserve workshop. I'll have to show you. The reverse manifest. Actually, this one would be good for you too. You can reverse manifest it. What's happening is, I'm just thinking of other ones that you should do. This is the green bucket method I was talking about earlier for those of you who are tying self-worth and other things. I really feel, okay, this was the how to feel more than enough. There's something going on. You've got to, if sabotaging continuously happens at the point of success, like there's so many times there will be a number of times across any industry that, you know, a business relationship might fall apart at the point of like signature or signing. But if it's constantly a pattern, you have to work on what I was saying earlier. There's a version of you that like can get to the level of success right here, but you got to create, like, let's say this is you here and this is success. This is you signing the deal. You got to create the version of you again that's already like coming home from a day of work. Like these deals are all signed and done. Like there's another version of you that normalizes extraordinary, where multiple of these big deals have come through and you're living that version of you. And that version of you is worthy and receiving. And you got to like work on the day in the life of that version in my day in the life tools. Like you got to create that identity, the congratulations card tool of, again, what you stepped away from, what you stepped into. There's deep identity work. If it continues to be a pattern, we're at the point that you can get it, but the signing doesn't happen. It's likely because there's a version of you that's standing right here that doesn't believe. Like that is, if it keeps happening, that's usually a self-worth thing that you got to really work on the version of you that, again, I call it normalizing extraordinary.
But the point is, what I already like flipping myself. I say, okay, it's not going to happen. I say, no, this time it's happened. Everything goes, and now I will have another. We need to buy land, and we need to build the houses. Now we have 10 hectares, and I have these drives, and I'm talking with the people, and actually, it's doing like not daily, but every 2 days I have some proposals, and I'm still going. And okay, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and I really believe, and I really like see myself because I actually doing the stuff, and but the last second like it's not happening. And even I'm about to say I'm not so upset because I say, okay, I done all my best, I done this and I done that. From my point, I make everything, and now if it's not happened, that means it's not for me. Okay, I will try to do another one, and I'm not like losing myself, and I say, okay, it's going to happen. So
right. When it doesn't happen, that's your true test. Okay, when it doesn't happen and like the mindset clicks in of that or better, like when you are anticipating something that like, then you're putting a lot of self-worth and stuff into that transaction happening, and then it doesn't, you're attributing your success to that transaction versus the person you are, who you're becoming through this, whether they move forward or someone else moves forward. Like there's a mindset that needs to be worked on a bit in the process, because versus talking yourself into like, I believe it, it's happening, it is, it's not, but deep down, if there's a version of you that doesn't fully believe and you're kind of marketing it to yourself, you're talking yourself into it, then what you always receive, like you could tell at the point of the moment it doesn't come together. If you're developing the success and self-worth outside of the transaction, you will literally react like their loss. Oh my God, they're missing out. Like, you know, your reaction would not be like, oh my God, another one. And now I'm going to continuously anticipate failure or anticipate that things fall apart in the 11th hour every single time. There's work to be done here. Okay, there's work to be done here. So there's work to be done in the approach to the transaction, where you're working on that or better. Like if they don't come through, it'll be someone else. Like everything that's meant for me is mine. Like if that's not, like there's gonna be a bigger one right after it. And that's what I mean. So if it were not to come through, like I've done this a lot with actors. Like I've had someone like get a role in like the Spider-Man movie, let's say, and like she didn't get the role in a previous movie, and then she was like about to beat herself up, and I'm like, that or better. Like, and then the Spider-Man role came like for her in the movie. So it's like you if you were on the set on that show, like you would have never gone into that show. So like what happens at that point where you don't get something? Are you believing better is immediately on its way? And are you aligning to that better, or are you not? Are you disappointed in yourself? You're not feeling your self-worth? I mean, you can allow yourself, of course, disappointment, but then back to the free pass tool. Do you allow it for 5 minutes, 5 days? Do you throw up, do you throw your hands in the air? Do you give up? Like you gotta work on your mindset before, during, and after. And that's why the cranking up confidence lesson, like this one, teaches 3 main areas of confidence. You gotta have confidence in the approach, confidence in the in-betweens when you're not quite there yet but about to sign the paperwork, and confidence once you've signed, when it's done. Okay, and that will flip your belief system around. It will.
thank you very much.
Got it.
Bye, guys.
Good to see you. It was nice to put a face to minus a little circle like I see at school in our school. All right, I could go for another few minutes if you guys. I see some ladies here and Ryan, and I'm like, I'm not here for the ladies, so let's go. Izzy or Isa, or is it Izzy?
Yes.
What's your name? Izzy, nice.
Hi, thank you so much. I've been following you for a long time, and it's amazing to be on live with you, and I really appreciate it. You've been helping me a lot.
Oh yeah, I just signed in. Can't wait to meet y'all inside. Okay, go ahead.
I'm also in your school community, so I really appreciate you so much. I'm Izzy. I'm a new mom, and currently I am a freelancer, a virtual assistant, and I'm transitioning to creating my own VA agency. But currently I have my own client that is my bread and butter, but they drain me a lot. The workload, their environment, it's just a draining. So my question is, do you suggest for me to get out of this environment and start the agency that I'm looking for, or would you want me, or would you suggest me to get a new client first, learn and then start the VA agency that I'm mentioning about?
So I would recommend, so it's never, even people sometimes, relationships, career advice, money stuff, transaction stuff, whatever's going on, often ask me like, should I stay or should I go? Or should I yes or should I no? Should I turn or should I? And it's not in the action, it's in the energy and intent behind the action. Yeah, Joshua. So if you guys really like lock in on your mindset, it's not about should I leave, like, because you could continuously be exhausted in a number of situations. What you actually want to flip is exhaustion to excitement, and now you start to have a bigger vision. I would go right into the vision board course where you see this client that's kind of been a drain is actually, like, instead of caging you in, which is one of the top 10 money blocks in my top 10 money blocks thing here in School of Mentors and in my money course. You're seeing money right now and your money story as a bit caging you into a reality you kind of don't want with this client. And whenever money and being caged in is together, it's not opening the doors to more abundance. You're more likely, if you leave that job or client in that energy, you're going to remanifest it because you're in the energy of that problem. That's why it's not whether you stay or go or let these people out or not. It's about you changing your energy and your mindset first. And then the decision will be clear. When you decide to make a flip it, and I don't want to feel exhausted, I have a new baby, like that's exhausting enough, and it's beautiful. It's like a perfect analogy. Like, congratulations, I have 3 sons. Like, having a baby is like exciting and exhausting all at once. So it's the same energy, right?
Yeah.
And you're now saying, like, here it is in my business. It's exhausting, but like I'm excited because I'm about to launch this. You're about to give to another level of your company even. So it's all exciting. You got to go way bigger. But you got to go into the vision board course, make a way bigger vision of like, how was that person or client the perfect stepping stone that fueled you, not caged you, but fueled freedom to launch the rest, your next stepping stone and your next stepping stone. So if you're in my content, even at premium access, go through some of the tools, go into the day in the life tool, go into, if you are able to jump into the money course, go into that, you'll go way faster because it goes so much deeper, but just start working the tools because you're ready to make clear decisions from you have a lot that you're about to do. That's exciting. So you want to go into the vision, make it crystal clear, see how these things all line up to it and feel like all green lights, no red lights. Once you feel all green lights, you've cleared out the resistance. It'll be like a full body yes, whether to let go of this client or not. And until then, do the mindset work because if you don't clean it up, you'll reattract something just like it.
Got it. All noted. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Great question. Okay, Daniela, I have to go in probably maybe 1 or 2 more questions. And then you guys, I have a live Q&A. I have a happy hour tomorrow in my community where we just meet and greet each other. And I have a mindset meetup on Friday. I have an encore event to launch week 1 of the money course that we're launching this week. And I also have a Q&A coming up, I think on Sunday or Monday. So if you check out my calendar, like I have so much coming up and I have different levels of free, premium, and VIP, but there's free stuff and it's a free community. So the Q&As, most of my Q&As are free. Go ahead, Daniela.
First of all, I just want to say thank you because this was amazing. I'm new to the community. This is my first workshop. So it's been a great start so far. Yeah, it's my favorite so far. And I really love everything that you're saying, you're doing. I think I really need that right now in my business. I really want to prioritize this, but at the same time, it's the thing that I prioritize the least. And I have 1,000 questions, so I'm just going to go for the one that I think is more important. And I think it's, I really try to work hard towards defining a vision and defining my purpose and trying to be really aligned with that. And I every time I feel like I get closer to that, like I have a clear path towards that, sort of clear. But the thing is that even though I work hard to visualize that, I don't feel like it's excited enough. Like it's not exciting enough. Like I feel like that sounds nice. I will love that. But it's not like, wow, I really need that. And I feel like I never had that in my life. Like I now that I have my business, I've been discovering new things and I'm excited about new things that I didn't know that I could do. But I feel like maybe I'm aiming not that high and I don't know how to aim higher. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think you need to do some of the happiness content because the happiness is so related to your purpose and it sounds like you're not letting it in. So you need to stretch yourself. But like how happy are you on an everyday? Like how
it's just I'm really happy every day. Like I'm really excited. I'm really excited but I think that's kind of my problem because I get too excited about my everyday life of my
that's
with
great.
my clients.
That's great. Then, then to add fuel to that fire, like you got to start stretching. Like I would go right into like I touched upon some of my epic goals content today that like you got to stretch yourself to something so big you couldn't do it just yourself. It's in my money course, and because it sounds like on your own you're kind of like less excited about it. You're already excited about life. Like you got to do. I would do the white envelope method. It's kind of fun where you learn how to stretch yourself. You got to learn how to stretch your thinking because maybe beyond logic and maybe beyond just something you could do yourself, the additional energy of other people, resources having to come together to make something like fun and exciting will get your heart to like zing to another level. And that's what it seems like you're looking for, something like either deeply meaningful or impactful or just something so amazing that like you could have never thought of it and it came out even bigger and better than expected. Like I always tell people like you don't have to have more to be happy. You could just expand yourself. And it sounds like that's what you're ready for. Like it's not more stuff, more. It could be. I mean, that definitely could be one way, but it sounds like you're really ready to. I mean, the way I see it from a mindset manifesting person is really expand your light. Like take that bright version that you already are naturally. And I
think it's related because I think that everyone that I see that are having like they're doing really good in their business because they have this huge vision and I just have fun helping people and I feel like I get stuck there because I can help for free and that's the problem because I don't charge as much or I help too much for free without even noticing. I always try to like value my time and my effort but I feel like sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing like too much work and I'm not focusing on something that I want to achieve because I can really see that. I just know that I help a lot of people. I want to like give back everything that has given to me.
You're not alone. People are like saying me too in the chat. When whatever you give so freely, like breathing, like that's you're in your purpose when you're doing that, by the way, because it's like easy for you. You're like, I didn't realize my whole life since I was 6 years old, I've been unblocking people. And creating these tools. Like as soon as I could write, I was like building these tools when I was a little girl. So I had no idea that was my purpose. I could stay on here talking to you guys clearly for hours. I love this stuff. Like I love I'm here. Right? Like whether you guys buy something from me or not, like I just enjoyed the last 2 hours with you. So you could do that, and then you could do that for free. Like that's what I was saying earlier to someone. Or you could do that for $9 a month this level. You could do $99 a month this level for thousands of dollars private. Like you could create different levels of what you love to do that you would do all day. Like whether it was free, paid a whole lot of money, paid no money, like because you love it. So the moment you find that, like that's amazing. It sounds like you enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping people. Like if you enjoy helping people and you build a business around that, build different layers around that. So like your heart feels really good. Like my heart feels really good, when I give stuff for free. And my freedom and my bank account feels really good when I also do stuff at a very custom level with people. Like, and then I've created levels in between. Like I made sure, like for me and my mission, could I have just charged a whole lot of money and just work with people privately? Sure, but that wouldn't have fulfilled my mission to make mindset for the masses. That's why my community is free. I'm like, I just want to help people like shift their mindset, be more positive every day. My entire community on school now is free, and people are talking all the time. That's why I'm like a little top 1% star. I'm like in 1 month, there's so much positive, like real life conversation going on that it's shifting people at that level, and that feels so good. So you got to decide what are you giving away that like you could be like that maybe is crossing that line. You got to create that. If you can do my money course, jump into my money course. You will clean up everything you need to clean up. You will charge what you are ready to charge. You will clean up your blocks. You will tap into your purpose on a career track. Like there's a lot of career and purpose content in there.
So is your vision related to the community you're helping or is it related to all the layers of your business?
So I'm sorry, is what related?
your vision.
Oh, with my vision? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my vision, it's related to the community. The community is a piece of it, but like even on my mindset tree, like I have my online 6-week courses, I have in-person experiences, I do leadership experiences in Tennessee. I've got like, I do Malibu experiences out here. I do retreats now. Like I have a big vision that I've like literally in my leadership group that, it's community is one branch. And, publishing is another branch as I make my workbooks and things. And then, my teen content, like I work with kids and teenagers as well. Like, I mean, those are things that like, I work with homeless. Like I do all these different things and they're all branches on my tree. So it's really me growing this entire, company in all different directions, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun when you see a visual of it.
Yeah, thank you so much. What was the name of the course again that you said?
So
Or
when
the
you,
video?
yeah, so my group is Strong Confident Living.
Mhm.
When you guys go in, Michael's been posting it here. And then when you are in the classroom, I would do the vision board content and the intro tools if you guys just want to jump in on the first level. And if you want to go VIP, what I was suggesting to you, what I'm launching live now is the money course. Like I'm literally in like this week, we're doing how to unstuck your blocks, how to flip black. The next week will be how to flip black to abundance, how to step into your path of purpose, like what you were talking about, how to align to vision, the trust bucket.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just these lessons and there's a tool and a how-to for every single lesson. They're life-changing. I mean, this is the exact stuff I do with privately, like one-on-one clients. I realize I'm like, I just have to package this, which I have over the last like 5 years. What you see in the courses are the best of like many times that I've done this course. And so now we launched the community so we can have daily discussions around all that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, that's cool. Imam is in Nashville. Yeah, so I go to Franklin, Tennessee at the it's this amazing. I host this. I'll end it with showing you guys some of my experience stuff. But I have I do this experience. It's called the leadership experience. Share my screen. This in Tennessee, it's this crazy amazing compound. It's called the Dark Horse Recording Studio. And it's a Year of the Horse, and I have like my Dark Horse mug, which is just crazy because I love working with what I call dark horses, the unexpected winners. The people who like you didn't like have all the cards perfectly set out for you, and here you are set out to win. So I like also this quote. Henry Ford said, "If I had asked them what they wanted, they would have said faster horses." So he built the car, and instead of faster horses, sometimes you don't have to ask everybody else for their opinions. You just need to go do it. So I hold an incredible leadership summit that launches a 6-week leadership pod that I do for like people that want to really step into their leadership stuff. You can see. This is like actually not published anywhere right now, so I'll just post out the link to you guys. And then I host Malibu retreats out here in Malibu, California. And stop the share so I can see you. Post that in here. That's the leadership experience, then the Malibu experience. So yeah, I'm working on my branches too, but the retreats I've been doing for years now, and they're game changer. But the first steps always is jump into the community, start learning the tools, see how fast you get unblocked. Usually people that want to come to my retreats just literally like want to meet me. They want to it's like the results that they get are through the roof. It's just, you'll see it in the community. You guys, I wanted to answer all these questions, but I just also want to respect like time. So it's been 2 hours. It has been such a pleasure. It hurts my heart when I don't get to answer all everybody's questions, especially when I see your faces. So just please jump into my community, and I'll post right at the top. You'll see like ask Laura a question, and you can post a question, and I'll bring it into the next live Q&A that I do. So I do live Q&As. They're free, and they're at least like twice a month that I host a live Q&A inside the community. So even if you just jump into Strong Confident Living, I'll see you inside. Just jump on in. This is the first time I've done a workshop in here that I could actually point you in the direction of my new school community. That is like just go see people's results. It's just so amazing. Be part of another community here. It's such an awesome platform. But thanks to School of Mentors for having me, both as a student inside and a teacher. I really love being in here. And I appreciate all of you today. So thank you for your energy. Thank you for receiving my content. Share in the post that I made in School of Mentors, a little nugget or takeaway. Let me just jump right back into school here. I posted live chat. Live chat. Just post a little takeaway or a little comment in here right inside School of Mentors. Let's make this a little interactive. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.